OKC Thunder fans, what's going on? Jenny here. I hope you all are having a great weekend. I know I am watching our team kill. They had their 7th and 8th win in a row, longest streak in the NBA. Here we go, OKC Thunder. Here we freaking go. All right. We're going to talk about the Detroit game, we're going to talk about the Philly game, and then we're going to talk about a few other things that have come up in the past few days around this team. So let's start off with the Detroit game. OKC won that game 121-108. They started off really well. Paul George had a million points in the first quarter. He was just picking his spots, shooting and hitting everything, so that was great. They scored 36 points in the first quarter. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. I think this was one of those games where they were expected to win it. However, what does that even mean? This is the NBA. Anything can happen. Teams have off nights. It was an away game. There's so many different factors, and it certainly was not an easy game for them to win by any means. The Pistons have been going through their struggles. They currently are on a losing streak. They've lost like 8 games in a row, and last month they did the same thing. They're currently 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. So they've definitely been going through their struggles, but they do have Drummond. And say what you want to say, but that guy is a force. He's a force to be reckoned with. If there's a rebound, he's grabbing it. I can tell you that much. And they have some other pieces surrounding them. They have Harris. They have Ish Smith, who had played a really good game. I thought he was being very aggressive. His passes were really, really good. He had 15 points, 9 assists. He was making things happen on the court, keeping the tempo the way that they wanted it to be, which we've seen problems with that in the past for OKC, where the other team is dictating the pace. Which is usually when there's a momentum switch. So that had me a little bit nervous once I saw that starting to happen. And then, of course, we had that horrible, horrible thing that happened in the third quarter. Our dear Dre, he took a spill. He'll be out for the rest of the season. That was really hard to watch. You know, a lot of guys were saying that, when you see the expression on the face, they just knew what that meant. They just knew, especially because players get injured all the time, and no one wants to see a guy fall, whether you're competing against him or not. I mean, it's just, that is the absolute worst. So we are praying for you, Dre, for a speedy recovery. You will definitely be missed. But the game had to go on. They buckled down. They won that game for Dre. They won it for Dre. It was hard, though. It takes an emotional toll on you. I think mentally it kind of knocked them out of whack. So the Pistons came back into the game for a little bit there, but their defense held them on strong, and they were able to come out with the win. During that game, Melo hit his 25,000 point scoring mark, which only 21 players that have played basketball in the history of basketball have ever done. So yeah, Melo! Yes! And you all know that I'm a big Melo fan, so I've seen him make many of those points. That was really, really cool to see, and huge accomplishment. He has years left in his career, so who knows how many points he will score in his career, but it's just absolutely unbelievable. And it was cool to see other players post on social media, giving him a shout out. And there were some OKC fans in the stadium at Detroit who were cheering for him when he was on the free throw line for that 25,000th point. And then tonight, when they were at home, the fans were standing and cheering for him in practice and pre-warm-up. So, way to go, Melo. Keep scoring as many points as you possibly can. We are behind you. My man, stay mellow. Hoodie Melo. We all just feel like Hoodie Melo sometimes, right? It's go time. What else? So in the Detroit game, their bench was pretty solid for them and scored quite a bit. But OKC had more points in the paint, and I am so happy that that is something that they've been concentrating on. But really, we know who's responsible for that, Mr. Westbrook. And another injury happened, not during this game, but DeMarcus Cousins the night before. He's out with that Achilles injury. Terrible. He was having such a good season. I'm sure Anthony Davis is so upset because the two of them really had something good going. I am so sorry to say this, but is it terrible that I was somewhat happy that it happened? I feel horrible, but the Pelicans were right on our tails, and now we don't really have to worry about them anymore. We do still have to worry about the Timberwolves, Houston, and San Antonio, but at least I don't have to worry as much about the Pelicans in terms of the playoff run. And because of that injury, our man PG-13 will be on Team LeBron for the All-Star game. So that's pretty awesome, and he'll be playing with Russ on the same team. LeBron gave him a shout out saying he was happy to have him on the team, so talking about who he wants in his starting lineup. So we'll see what happens there. PG said that it was unfortunate the way that he got into the All-Star game, but he is very happy that he'll be able to play, and his family will be watching since it'll be taking place in LA, so happy that that could pan out for him, because we know how disappointed he was that he didn't make it in. Let's talk about tonight's game, because tonight's game was off the Richter. It was just outstanding. It was basically a dunk contest, which Embiid started, and he should know that, especially as a youngin', you need to know when to keep your mouth closed. So he's one of these guys who likes to incite rage and competition, and he's always, trying to push and just keep pushing. Russ is not the one you want to be pushing, and I think at this point you've learned that. I'm sure his response to that would be, well, I'm just going to keep pushing because I'm competitive and that's my nature. Russ is going to teach you every single time. He's going to go home. Like he said, go home. Just go home. The first time these two teams met, they went into 3 overtimes, and there was a lot of back and forth. Embiid stepped to Melo, and Melo said, "You're my son. I'm not the one. I'm not the one." That New Yorker really came out of him. He was just like, "You don't want to mess with me, bro. Trust me. You don't want to do that." And Melo has had his fair share of confrontations in this league in his career, so I think he handled that one pretty well, considering. But Embiid, again, he had this crazy dunk on Russ. I knew it was going to be a highlight, and that really frustrated me because I hate when you're looking up what happened in the game and then you see this video of how, someone was disrespected, and that does not even tell the whole story of the game, not even close, because what ended up happening, Russ came back, dunked on him. he was staring him down on the bench. Even at the end of the game, he was staring him down. I was just laughing to myself, like, did you learn your lesson yet or no? And when Russ said, I'm going to keep on coming, I'm just going to keep coming, I was thinking to myself, what a great Russell Westbrook t-shirt that would make. Someone please put that on a t-shirt and send it to me because I will wear it. Thank you. Adams was exceptional in this game. He scored 20 points, but that pick and roll game that he has going on with Russ has been so effective. Everyone has been saying just what a beast he is down there. He's really, really tough guy. He's very strong. And I think he's been proving that night in and night out. I would like to bring up Grant because I think that Grant is someone who should be getting more minutes. He has definitely been proving that. He's been blocking, stealing, getting open when his man is double teaming someone else. He's wide open, making cuts, driving to the basket, getting those easy points in the paint. So I would love to see him get more minutes now that Dre will not be playing for the rest of the season, which is unfortunate. Ben Simmons on their team on Philly is going to be a really great player in the NBA, and he is already having an incredible start. They had quite a bit of careless passing going on for Philly, and I think that, so the announcers were saying that they're number one in terms of pace of the game, but what that does is when they're knocked off of their game, then their passes were very chaotic. It was difficult for them to gain composure. They were hitting shots, though, don't get me wrong. They were definitely hitting shots. But at a point, they just got knocked out of it because Russ kept pushing. Russ kept pushing that tempo. He kept looking for open guys. So yeah, OKC has been killing right now. They are on fire right now. But now that Dre is not going to be playing for the rest of the season, now are there any trades that you think we need to make? If there are, let me know. Let me know who you've been thinking about. Obviously, it needs to be someone who has incredible defense because that's what he was for this team, someone who's going to hustle. So let me know what you think in terms of that. We're going to celebrate number 7, number 8, and hope you had a great weekend. Let's keep this momentum going, keep the energy up going into the week. And as always, thunder up. Good night.